everyone, this is Professor Benjamin, and you have made it through week 2 of this course. Well, almost week 2 of this course. So this is our roundup for week 2, and this week we covered the population session. So a couple just housekeeping items. Number one, remember you have a quiz and you have an assignment due by Sunday, 11:59, September 15th. So you have your population assignment and you have your population quiz due. I graded all of your population discussion posts. Most of them are really well written. A couple just other little housekeeping items. Number one, please don't include I statements. So I know this is really hard for students because in a lot of your other classes, personal opinions are really the whole meat of the actual degree. So if you're a BHHS major or sometimes in justice, it's more about your opinions and how you feel about something. In this course, though, we want to try and remove that. And the reason we want to remove personal statements is because sometimes they're not factually based. So it's how you feel. It's not actually what's really occurring. So try to remove from any of your initial posts, even if it seems like the question is asking you for your opinion, remove any I statements. So no I believe or I think or in my opinion. Take all of that out. You can still say the same thing. You just have to remove the I statement. So instead of saying, I believe this, say, yes, this is it, and here's the reason why. Okay, so there's a couple students I responded to that said, I need more factual basis. You can't just say that. You have to include facts to prove what you said is actually true. Okay, so that's important. Number two is there's a large amount of students that are not using paragraphs in their initial posts. It is really hard to read initial posts without paragraphs. Now, I know this is a little bit of a problem because when you copy and paste in, sometimes the paragraphs go away. You have to input those paragraphs in there in the reply area. So it's really important that you include paragraphs. You should have an introduction, your answer, whether it's consequences, and then the following, and then a conclusion that wraps up your answer. Make sure you are including in-text citations, showing me where your sources are used, and proper MLA formatting of the sources that are used at the end of your post. But for the most part, most of you are following that. There's just some people that need to just catch up, and sometimes it's because different expectations are required in different classes. So this is the class. So if you have questions, okay, so a couple things. Number one, population was a lot. There was a lot of information in there. Don't forget your assignments due. So you'll see here, I did a little bit of a video for a walkthrough. I give you an example of what one graph is supposed to look like. I give you examples of how to create graphs if you're not sure how to do that. So all that information is here. Another thing that popped up, and I sent out an announcement about it, is life expectancy. So on the PRB website, it has life expectancy of females and males. I want you to take the average. So just add the two together and divide by 2. It'll give you the average overall life expectancy for of both male and females for that country. So that is useful. Don't forget, I really need factual basis, like why those things are happening in those countries. So you're going to have to use sources. You're going to have to go out and find sources to back that up. I wouldn't wait till the last minute for that project. It'll be obvious if you didn't spend enough time writing the report instead of really analyzing the data. Okay, so make sure you do that. Overall, great job. Population, the issue with the one China child policy, there were a lot of social consequences to that. It was repealed in the fall of 2015, but those consequences are still going to be felt for a lot of years to come. Number one is, of course, gender inequality. In the Chinese culture, males, of course, are looked at as the mainstay. They carry on the family name. They also are the social security system. So, you remember, you were not prevented from having more than one child. You just were taxed heavily for having more than one child. So some students said, well, you couldn't have more than one child. No, you could. You just were taxed really heavily, so it prevented you most of the times from having that. Or if you had a female as your first child, a lot of times you either aborted the child, killed the child, or put the child up for adoption, or just left the child somewhere, and then hopefully it made its way to an orphanage in China. So there is a large amount of orphanages in China that have a large amount of females in them. Actually, China reached out to the United States, and that's actually why we actually have less ties, and it costs less money to adopt a child from China and Russia than it does from the United States. So a lot of people you'll see actually go overseas to China or Russia to adopt children because there's just not as much legal paperwork. It's not as expensive as in the United States. We came up with like a little mutual agreement with them because of this problem. The other thing is, now whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but also, so now there's a huge gender imbalance. There's definitely more males than females. This has, of course, affected males. So it has created almost like a black market for women where women are trafficked because there's just not enough women in specific areas. So that's a big problem. The other thing is now men have gone out searching for women in other countries. And when they bring back these women to China, China is very worried about the linear culture, right? So that genetic line is that now when you marry women and have children with them from other countries, your children are not truly Chinese. So genetically. So that's, people are worried about that. The other thing is the economy of China. China's economy wants to grow, and you need people to do that, right? You need people to work in the manufacturing facilities, all of that. Now, of course, how human rights issues are another thing, but they don't have enough people because it has been shrinking. So that's a huge problem, is just not enough population to grow the economy the way they want. Of course, women were hidden in a lot of their villages, so now they're coming forward and saying, well, listen, I am a person, here I am, but it's almost like you don't have a social security card. You were never reported to the government, so this is becoming a huge issue. A lot of people are really worried that China's population is going to explode. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. There are a lot of, in rural areas, this definitely may happen in China. In a lot of the other areas where people are really trying to develop their careers through education and other things, the population fertility rates may decline there, but I'm not sure about that. That leads me into the other question. The U.S. Population growth is 0 to negative growth. It will be pretty soon because of the baby boomer population passing away. That was the population that was born during and after World War II. And there was an explosion in population. So there are individuals that are in their 70s, 80s at this point. And so this is a big issue because since then, the fertility rate of the United States has been really decreasing. And that is the fact that there's only 1.8 children being born per every 2 people. And that means that our population is declining. So you'll even see our enrollment is declining, right? There's just less people going to college because there's less people. Big issue for the economy, big issue for our social security system, because remember, there's not as many people paying into the social security system. This is a good question for immigration. We need immigration because we need people to come into the United States, right, to help grow our economy. If we want a labor economy, we need people to do that. So this is a big issue that's going to be coming up I wouldn't be surprised if they bring back the tax break for having children in the United States soon. I wouldn't be shocked if they do that, if they, bring that back. The other thing was the pandemic, what's going to cause the next die-off. A lot of you included great information about pandemic. Definitely a virus that we may not be able to get a vaccination out in time will definitely be something we need to keep our eye on. The other question dealt with Thomas Malthus and population. And yes, a lot of you answered the question right. His prediction was wrong. But our big problem today is that we really grow a lot of monocrops. So in the United States, we really grow 2 main crops, soybeans and corn. If something happens to either one of them, first of all, corn has no nutritional value. So we actually grow corn to feed to animals, fish, animals, etc., to have them grow faster, quicker, grow quicker and bigger because it has sugar in it. So it allows people to, or the species to gain weight faster. And so this is a big issue in the United States, is like if something affects our corn crop, first of all, it has no nutritional value. So if something affects the corn crop, some sort of disease or superbug, we're in trouble because we have all of our eggs in one basket. So there you go. All right, so that's my little spiel about population. This next week, we're going to work on migration. Of course, this is a huge topic today, especially in the United States. So you'll have some really great forum questions under the forum, and you have a migration quiz. Of course, at the end of the week, I will round up migration, but I think it's really, this is a, of course, a hot topic in the United States today, and I think there's tons of data out there on migration and whether, the reasons why people migrate. Right now, most people are migrating from other countries to here because of poor living conditions. Either, number one, they have, I'm sorry, as I'm thinking about this, because it is one of the push and pull factors, but the U.S. has experienced negative population growth because, number one, also freedom of women. So freedom of women are being educated, they're in the workplace, so they have less children because they put off having children until later years in their life, which leads less time to have children. The other thing is the cost of childcare in the United States is astronomical. I at one point, I was paying $2,500 a month for childcare for my 3 children so that I could work. It's just astronomical in terms of childcare. So sorry, off of my rant and back to migration. So you'll see here migration, big issue in the United States today. There's wonderful, awesome articles out there, of course, today on both sides of the aisle about migration. Those push-pull factors are really important for us to understand why people are coming to the United States. Not just, all these people are coming to the United States. There are actual real reasons why people are coming to the United States, and I think we need to address those, or those countries need to address those, or we may need to help those countries address those so that migration is not such a hot topic. I also think it's a hot topic because that's what our president wants this hot topic to be. And so I think it's really important for us to look at that. I also think it's really important for us to have some empathy. Migration is not an easy thing, especially if you have children. It's just not it's not a one and done thought process. It requires time, energy, and the thought of knowing you may die and your family may die doing it. And I think we really need to show some empathy towards individuals that are migrating. I think just at a human level, just show some empathy. So migration is this week. I also want you to take a quick look here. Your final paper proposal is due. So by the end of next week. I know you need to get through your population paper, but you definitely also want to start looking at your proposal. And if you have any questions on the project, there's a fantastic module here on the project. I also will probably try and make a video this week about the project, but I want you to start filling out your proposal because that's due by next Sunday, 11:59, September 22nd. Have a fantastic week. Get through this week, then start looking at the paper project proposal for that's due next Sunday. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I can't promise you that I'm going to be around a ton this weekend, but I'll do my best to log in and answer a couple questions. I will do my best, okay? So have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to your population papers.